Hello, good afternoon. Thokozani.
Thokoza gogo.
Siyabingelela Thokozani bogogo omkhulu nokhehla. Thank you so much for turning up for this last session. Yomphahlo wethu wokubonga. 30 days of prayer. Re kopa bogogo bogogwana ba re thuse ndawo. It's not going to be a long session, bogogo. We can decide how we want to spend this, but it's really just to say thank you to everyone and to all of us for listening to the Spirit and Pasha and to just share. I have an echo coming from somewhere, Coco. I think, can I just sort that out? Where is that echo coming from? Where though? Where are you coming from? Echo. We can decide how we want to spend it, but it's really just to say thank you to everyone and to all of us for listening to the Spirit and to just share. Sorry, where is this echo coming from? But I know that we are live on YouTube. Please give me a minute just to sort that out. I really don't know where that echo is coming from. I see where you are. Okay. I see where it's coming from. I found it. Thank you so much. Sorry for that. It was coming from the YouTube account. It was also opened. Ndawo bogogo sizophahla mbingelele ngenjabulo. I can see Gogo Sara, you are here also. Gogo Mnyama, Gogo Tulimbete is also here. Mukhono Mutwakhafe is also here. Ngizoflata Justin Pepper bogogo. And we open ngendlela yakhona amakhehla amadala bogogo mkhulu. Anyone amongst us that is led to open in prayer, please feel free to do so. Thokozani.
I will let us in. Thokozani gogo omkhulu. Mo leineng la rara le la mora le la moya o boitshepo. Bonkgono le bontatemogolo letsatsi ke ile la bo30 a esale re dutse re le bitsa re rapela le lona re le kopa re bontsheng tsela e nnile tsela e telele e boima. Bonkgono bontatemogolo re kopanetse one big thing, one great thing. We want to heal our country. The ATM week gave us the opportunity, bonkgono bontatemogolo, gore lefatshe la rona le hloka botsitso. Bana basadi ba bolawa. Bopelo tshetlha, greed has overcome our country. Re beya baetapele ba rona mo pele ga gago Modimo le badimo bontatemogolo. Bana ba rona ba sila, bana ba rona ba bolawa ke tlala, bana ba rona bana mebereko. Modimo, Africa e humile, Africa is very rich. Africa ke mosadi wa dikontinente tsotlhe. Tlayang boela mo go rona, re buleleng diselakise, re dumalane re le baalafi ba mefutafuta gore go rapela ga rona from the 1 tsa September go fitlha di 30 tsa September re kopa tsela mo go lona, re kopa leo re bontsha mafelo a otlhe re lo rapela, re lo tsa mewa ya bana ba rona ba ba feletseng mo nageng. Ha se kgetse bokete, ha se kgetse e potlana, ke kgetse bokete. Bonkgono le bontatemogolo, re a le bitsa le mo letsatsing le la kajeko, re dumelane gore re le bitsa for 30 days, mara re le bitsa every day. Ya ka re kopane mo bontatemogolo bonkgono, re kopane go ya go ile, re batla bona Africa e fodile, re batla ipona re fodile. Re kopa keteledi pele ya rona o e beile mo pele ga rona Modimo. President ya rona Ramaphosa o mo mathateng Modimo. Ra bona mo dipamping, ra ikutlwela, ra bona ka matlho a rona. Ketapele ya tsamayng le yona, ha go utlwane Modimo, ene go tlhoka go utlwana ga gage go a re affecta bana ba rona. Ha re batla go bona tsholo ya madi, re bone tsholo ya madi mo nakong e fetileng. A puso e ne eteletseng pele ke bokokwana bontatemogolo le wena Modimo. Letsatsi ke ile le re le kopileng gore re kopane tsena mo gare ga rona Modimo, se re tlo se buang mo kwena o tlo retelang ko pele, re ikemiseditse tiro e kgolo ya go lo tlhapisa setšhaba sa gago, palamente ya rona, metsi, tsotlhe tse re di tlhokang mo leineng le le maatla la morao Jesu Kriste. Re a leboga. Thokozani bogogo.
Thokozani, re a leboga nkgono, akube kuhle Ndlondlo, Makehla Madala. I don't know if there's anyone amongst us that would like to share before Bokoko I share a draft we have been working on as writers. There's a lot of work that still needs to go into it, Makehla Madala, but it's work really that is culminating from the prayer sessions, conversations that we've all been having, where we are saying South Africa, we are healing ourselves, we are healing the country from the oppressions of the past, of racism, of slavery, of colonization. We have remembered who we are, we know who we are, we know where our woundedness has come from. We are healing ourselves as we heal the country. We've been saying every story matters. Every story matters. Siyacela Ndlondlo Makehla Madala singene phezu kwalo msebenzi namhlanje ningene nathi bomkhulu kube kuhle bogogo namakhehla. Nisibambe ngesandla bomkhulu singazenzeli zindlondlo kwenze nina Makehla Madala. We have been praying bogogo, we have been staying with you for 30 days Makehla Madala, because you have called us to do so. We rise in gratitude, Bokoko. We rise in thanksgiving for our nation, for everyone that has come on board, for every conscience, Bokoko Mkulu, that is responding to this call, a responsibility, Makehla Madala, that you put in our hearts, in our shoulders, in our lives. Re le bana ba lona bonkgono, re lebohile ka matla. Siyabonga bogogo nabomkhulu ngokusipha indlela yokwenza Makehla Madala, nokusihlebela ukuthi senze kanjani bomkhulu singazenzeli. We are here gathered, Makehla Madala, to share those visions, to share those messages. Guide us, bogogo, singazenzeli Makehla Madala, as we heal, as we do this work collectively. It's work that we are taking with humility, Makehla Madala. It's work that we are taking with hope and faith and determination and commitment and love. You've taught us throughout these conversations that this is a revolution of love. This is a revolution of healing, Makahle Matala. We are healing as a nation, we're healing ourselves. So if there's nobody else to share Bokoko, would like to welcome everyone that is on Facebook. Bokoko, the tears that I'm sharing are tears of joy, tears of healing, tears of thankfulness. Bokoko, tears of healing, because the Spirit is saying to all of us, we have been crying a lot. It's okay. Rafola, Rafodisan. I wouldn't like to close anyone else, Gogo Omyama, Gogo Utuli, before Spubega Makesha to share this draft, just in terms of where we are. And then we will close the session because we're supposed to close at 4. And I know many of us are back at work, so we don't want to delay also in terms of time, Makesha Mata. If there's anything, please come through before I continue to share Zindron.
Bogogo, I am attending a webinar World Summit on collective trauma 2020. I understand they're having it for the second time because they had it last year, 2020. It started the 22nd of September until it's ending up tomorrow. It's all the healers, all the poets. And healing is a process, Bokoko. Thank you very much. I'm happy we have started it. It is in a small scale, Mara, very big when I'm listening to all of them. The trauma, the pain that the world is going through is surmountable, is very huge. And if you are listening to this poet and this doctors, everybody is there, psychotherapists, everybody, I can say neurologists, because they're telling us for this trauma in a lineage is actually for centuries, because America was quoted as 400 years. I think it's 500 years of trauma that people are experiencing. We are hating our parents, they are hating. So the head is very deep. So Gokfil, you wanted to make me cry, but I remain strong. But because Sela Erisamayang is not an easy one. And I'm happy we have started it. Every stop, every step counts. So this thing, Ifela tomorrow, and I was thinking of Jakey when these poets were Babua Barisata, the poetess Abona Babonsa, they had that they are feeling. Everyone, every nation, we are crying about colonization. Rareki, the white people. The white people, they are crying Basupa somebody else. So the world is not at ease, the world is not happy, and the world wants to unite. So I'm happy we're part of that. And Figile and everybody who has been leading us, continue to lead us. Mudimuke o. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coco, for sharing with us. We truly appreciate it. It is open to everyone. Please share it in the spaces so that we can join. It is a world situation. It's not just South Africa. We've been saying that we are part of the globe. It's Mother Africa healing itself for purposes of healing the whole world. Thank you so much for sharing, Coco. Let us join hands. Let us work together to heal the world as in London. Goko Mnyama, do you have anything to share? Or just to say hello, it's also fine.
Yes, bogogo. Kamakwini ngiyanibulisa bantu abadala. Ngiyabonga kakhulu umsebenzi owenzakalayo. Dr. kakhulumile lo msebenzi lo emhlabeni wonke jikelele njengoba sikhuluma. Yiso isikhathi sawo. Angikusho ukuthi we should just move vigorously. We found each other. We've been working in isolation physically, but spiritually we've been collectively working over years, but the physical network has been birthed by this time we find ourselves in the past 6 months. So we needed to birth this physical connection, which is happening via this platform and other platforms where people who had not spoken to each other physically are now talking from the different corners of the world. The message I'm getting, and I got also I think 2 weeks ago, from a granny which this generation had hidden for me. I never knew I have a grandmother who's the sister to my late grandfather. And we're losing count of the number of years she has. But what we know is that in 2007, that's what I've been told, she was celebrating 95 years old. I think now she's 112 or 13. She can still walk. She can still see. She doesn't wear glasses. And when she goes to the Western clinic, they can't pick up any ailment on her. No diabetics, no heart disease. She just tells me she only has one pain now. It's because maybe she thinks she's old, but she can still walk. She can take a taxi from the village in Chakastad and go to Secunda to visit some of her grandchildren. I was amazed. I came through her coincidentally. Then immediately when I was with her, and that's my question, why she has been hidden. This is a sister to my paternal grandfather, whom I passed to. I don't know why she has been hidden from me, but she revealed herself. And anyway, when I was sitting with her, I didn't know she is in Dumba. So I was just seeing this physical, boring four-corner house which we all have been confined to live in. So we were sitting outside and I said, go. Then I saw she was carrying iswasho ezi2, esimhlophe nesi-yellow. Somebody was handing them lezwasho kuye. Abonga, she had sent someone to get them for her. Then I picked up something. She said, come. In front way of the house, there was her indumba. She said, come. Then we did the beautiful work there. So it really affirmed my quest for whether we need about these times, of which I've raised this with abanye in this group. We need what is necessary for us to heal the current situation we find ourselves, the poverty, the violence that's happening at many levels with the land, the violence that's happening between the human to human relationships, and so forth. It confirmed to me that the indigenous way of working with the status quo is the only solution that will transform this generation. So I'm so excited about the clarity and the no ambiguity about this mission. So touching her space completed my twasa, because every day I'm twasering. Yeah. So touching her space, it completed my anxiety. And if other gogos have time to come and see her, because she has so much wisdom that she's carrying I cannot even start to share. In terms of medicine, so the iswasho lebekasiphethe was then mixing it with another big bowl of umuthi bekawenza ekuseni abawugaya ihlahla bakuzihlanganisa. And that has not been documented, Bokoko. So she's 113. I'll send you her photo. She's amazing. She's a powerful warrior.
Yes.
We need to go see her, suck the knowledge. If that's the way we did, I need to put it and just move with her, Gogo. She's amazing. So I'm very, very excited, and I'm really thankful for Gogo Batate, the spiritual work, including me on and off, but bengizile ngezinye indlela Gogo angayanga emacansini Gogo solokucaliwa ngithi that's one way engizile ngayo. Ngokoza Gogo, and I'm doing liquid. Ngisebenzisa ama liquids ke Gogo. And then sometimes I manage to join my prayers, but angikhoni ngoba practically vele silwa nalo dlame olukhona. I was trying to support abo mama like the 17-year-old ohlukunyeziwe though ukuthi wakashonanga besithola ukuthi ngathi ushonile. So sinogogo lapha on the ground whom ngaphe foundation siyam support ukuthi set up ama stakeholder forums to find out if we cannot see a community where it's gender-based free and everyone that entered that zone can see a sign that you says, welcome to Mkanduli, this is a gender-based free zone. Inte kanjalo Gogo. So we're trying. So sometimes I'm ukuthi ngibe active, but spiritually and emithandazweni kodwa ngiyenza imithandazo in another way by being practical, and then ke vele emzimbeni ke vele ngilapho ukuthi ngikuma liquids, and then ke nangapha endaweni la sazalelwa khona angiyebo Gogo. Siyabonga.
Makhosi siyabonga Dlodo Cabango. No Gogo sikuvile ukuthi ukhona Khehla. Ungakhathazeki Khosi Lidala. You know we all have been fasting differently. Sibonga nje ukuba khona kwakho Khehla Lidala. Sikubonile sikuvile Khehla in the spaces. We've seen you, you've contributed nakule draft esinayo. There's so much of you. Nabo bonke hamba nabo. Definitely Gogo masimlethe eduzane Khehla. Sisakhe as much as we can. We need our elders. Healing. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful story. It's really a message also for us to say, as we are going to start this work of going to provinces, let us not forget our elders. Gogo Tulumbete, over to you. I saw you wanted to come up. You are muted, Ndlondo. Can you hear us, Gogo Tuli? Umute uphinde wavala futhi Gogo. Gogo Tuli, please unmute your mic. Yes. Ngiyakubona manje you are unmuted. Thokoza. Wow. Umuphi ugogo lana Gogo?
Yilo number 2 from the right look in the
bantu siyathokoza.
Yeah, Gogo nongaphethe no Anamilas kabo bami. And the one next to Ugolo okungathi yellow my biological sister. So it's aunt on the other side and my biological sister, and then in the middle, just the second from the right. We are umtomdala.
Ekhaya siyabonga Ndlondo.
Amen.
Ndawuwe. Right. Over to you, Gogo Tuli. I don't know whether there's a problem. Your voice is not projecting in John, but I can see you are talking. We have a problem of hearing you. Can anyone hear Gogo Tuli, or is it just me? Can you hear? Can you hear when she speaks? Is it?
We can't hear. We see the lips and then nothing is out.
I can see also Coco Shem Betuna Asibu, I don't know why, but your mic is open. I'll call Betun. Should I bring your voice via WhatsApp? Let me try and bring your voice via WhatsApp and see if we can get you there. Okay, I'm calling you Coco Tuli. You're probably using your phone. All right, John. Let's try. All right, Kehle. Uyavakala kodwa ke.
Yes. I've been holding this space since first September. Sometimes I couldn't log in for siyaphahla ngoba bayisemsebenzini, but I've been holding this space, and now like there's a lot that I've recovered about myself and journey, and plus nabantu abandisarawundileyo ngogogo. Ngibonga kakhulu ngesi space sithe saba naso ukuthi singakhula gogo, sikhule sibeke phambili. There's a lot that we need to do apha eAfrika. Sihlale sibambene ngohlobo sibambene ngalo gogo.
Ndawo gogo.
Thokozani gogo.
Siyabulela Mntanethongo. It's very important to mention with Ugogo. I will keep you here in London so that you can project your voice here. Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right. Ugogo Utuli is very important to just share a little bit of who you are in London. She's very important because she's right at the formation of what we call the prayer law healers today. It's a long history that we will share one day in London. But she's one of the people really who gave birth to this concept, emoyeni as well, from where Ugogo is sitting with other healers. So she's a teta ngayo Ndondo, but I just wanted to surface that because that's a very, very important role. Ndiyabulela ukubona Mntanethongo and the fact that now we recover the part kumnandi ukubona emoyeni. All right, Makhetha, without any waste of time, let me Gogo Mota, I don't know whether we bonile the draft that I've circulated. I'm going to try and find it quickly and then we'll move on. All right. So there's been a couple of us that have been writing since the beginning of, in the middle of the fast. And this is really an imagination that has been sitting in the different spaces. And this is what we call, I won't be long about it, but just to share what is there quickly. Nama contributors. Lo msebenzi omuhle esibonayo Makhetha Madala, it's important. Ugogo Umota, who is here, has really contributed a lot in building this work. And part of it is developing a framework of healing South Africa. But also we've been saying that it's important. Moya has been speaking to us about the rising of the feminine divine in our time, in the era that we are in, to say Mother Earth is actually the healer of the world. the feminine divine has risen in all of us to be able to bring the alignments that we are looking for, alignments to heal everyone. So I won't read the whole document. Suffice to just say to South Africa and to everyone that has been going with us, to fellow healers, the Lost Love Rappers Feminist Collective, and all our friends and loved ones and our families and our communities where to this is where we are. Abogogo bakhulumile kakhulu about what needs to happen. And part of it is that this revolution is really left from the place of what we call feminist, but actually the power of the feminine divine that lives in all of us. But it's also led from the place of healing, which means that it needs to be led by indlela yokulapha, because it is a revolution of love and a revolution of healing. So we have put together a draft framework that will lead us as we go into the various provinces of South Africa. And part of that work is, this is where it's sitting ideologically. This is now the thinking work that has emanated through these prayer sessions, but also through the conversations we've been having in the various spaces. The Spirit has said to us, it is important that ideologically we locate this work of healing within an eco-village model approach. Ugogo Saramota is doing a lot of that work in Mpumalanga at this point. But you will also realize as we are finishing this draft that we have been speaking also to a number of activists, healers who are either already doing this work. We've got, for instance, Unkulu J in the Free State who said the village is open, we can come and do this work. There's some comrades in the Eastern Cape, other comrades in the Western Cape. So in all the provinces of South Africa, healers have risen and said this work is available. We are here to build and plant medicines and plant food for everyone to eat, but to also really facilitate the work of healing for the country. So the eco-village model then has been submitted by Gogo Usarumota, which you can read at your own time, but I will just summarize it. And then we also have been writing about the post-colonial feminist-led livelihood, which is a framework that says, Uguti, we come from the woundedness of colonization. 1945 happened. We were supposed to be free. Africa became independent in the 50s, but actually colonization is still in our midst. So part of the work of healing then has got to build from a framework that truly decolonizes our lives, which means that we need medicine for our minds, our hearts, and our bodies. So that framework is helping us. It also then says that whatever needs to happen must happen being informed by the pedagogy of the experiences of the formerly colonized or the formerly oppressed, which means that we acknowledge, Uguti, we were wounded by these things, and then the healing process has got to start from that. And we've said a lot, Sonke City Truth and Reconciliation Commission started that work, but there's a lot that it also did not do. So we are building from that. It's not starting a new thing. And also part of that is also saying that the reason why there's been so much woundedness is around the economy, is around the finance, is around the markets. So this framework of that are giving us as we go into the provinces is to say it must be anti-capitalist, must be led from the feminine divine as an economic model, which means that it is about the values of sharing equally from the land, from the resources that we have as South Africa, that we have as a world. And we'll put activities in place in terms of, there are many suggestions that have come up. Part of it is working through the eco villages that we have in South Africa. And part of it is really putting e-markets that are ensuring that one common to agabi greedy. The spirit of greed in the 30 days, so that we all get to share equally on the resources of the land, so that we have food security and traditional medicines. We are going back to indigenous systems of healing. We are very happy, Maketa Matala, as Jobas Logos Partla Ganjena, Kupumen Omlaya, the World Health Organization, that Comrade Utedros, who is leading the World Health Organization, has now actually endorsed the fact that there needs to be investigation about whether traditional healing systems can assist the world to heal COVID-19 and other ailments. We are ready. So that message came in time as we were praying, Sipata, even for Madagascar and others who initiated this process. As we're speaking in South Africa, we're putting that in place as well to say, we are rising to work with our leadership to say, traditional medicines are here in South Africa and we can heal through them. Equal share of the land is required to do that work, land for food, land for medicine, land for living, so that we have people, South Africa, land for happiness and land for well-being. So that's the work that we'll be doing when you go to the provinces, to see how we can do it with love, Makehla Madala. This is a revolution of love and healing. Access to land activities are going to be put in place to guide this work. We are thinking that it's going to take us up to June 2021, but it could be longer than that. So food security is at the center of it, food creation, so that we don't hunger. One of the predictions that have come up during COVID-19 is that there is an intention in the next 5 years for the world for extinction. But the healing process has risen to say the feminine divine Mother Earth is ready to give us food again. We just need to share the land. And reparations and healing and recovery processes is that process of saying abogogo bethu nabomkhulu bethu have been really emzabalazweni wama-Afrika. Umzabalazo that has wounded our families, has broken our structures and our social fabric. So that work of reparation and healing and recovery is centered around repairing and healing our systems, which is grounded on building relationships, rebuilding families, and rebuilding communities. And we have a model that is put in place to say, how do we go back to building? Part of it is exactly what Ugogo Saramota has just shared now. It's about remembering our elders, remembering Abantu Esinabo, who are actually really walking dictionaries of who we are, going back to remember ourselves as Abantu, Relibatu. And part of that model is also linked to the work of land, because it's saying we must go to these sites. Siyaphahla, umpahla wethu usitshelile ukuthi we need siyaphahla, for instance, in places like Freedom Park. There are many spirits that have died. There are many people that have not come home because of the violences. Siye emakhaya kuma-families and make sure that we locate bodies that have not been found. Sicele emathongeni sibabuyise even nangomoya if we can't find them physically, so that that healing happens. So in all the provinces that we have in South Africa, we'll be going to those sacred sites. Siyophahla, sigibela intaba, siye emanzini, siye emalwandle, siyocela. And then part of the model includes knowledge creation, reflection, learning, and preservation. Part of Umphatho Wethu has told us, Makehla Madala, that we need to unlearn racism. We need to unlearn colonization. We need to unlearn all forms of oppression, because even as we are being oppressed, some of us have internalized this in our bodies, in our minds, in our psyche. So the process of unlearning is for everyone. Many of us are saying it is possible that racism is not just sitting with white skins. Racism is also sitting with black skins, with Indian skins, with colored skins, because we have all internalized this. Similarly with other forms of oppression that are gendered, which is why you can find that ukuhlukunyezwa ngokocansi nokuhlukunyezwa kobulili is done in men's bodies, but you also find people who are in women's bodies and other non-gender bodies being able to do that violence because it's internalized. So the work of unlearning, knowledge creation, and reflection and preservation is about that, to say, let us learn new values for ourselves. They're actually not new. We have been Abantu, not really Batu, but that has been violated. So we are going back to learning and teaching our bodies to connect again to Mother Earth and to values of Ubuntu, collective sharing, and collective ways of being. And that is at the center of resources. And then also art, creation, and expression, necessarily our artists getting matter. So we need to go back to respecting our artists in the country, value the work of artists, even in terms of legislation, in terms of recognition, in terms of remuneration. That work has come up. There's a program also to say, as we're going around the country, we are going to also locate some of our villages. For instance, during Umphatho, we went to Free State, laphayana Free State Cultural Village. Nayo ugogo Motha besilosikhuluma naye ngempumalanga ngemphakathi laphayana Eco Village, Peace Eco Village, and so on. So we need to go back to that work. It is here everywhere in South Africa, in all provinces. I've already spoken about relationships and family building, Makehla, and then of course we need to put administrative systems in place. Part of what we have been saying, and all of us have been saying that our leadership is challenged, Bagwetu. President Wetu is really struggling, and our leadership in general, because we are living in hard times. So we also need to be at the center of reimagination to assist the country. And part of this reimagination is about reimagining an administrative system and a logistical system that will work for South Africa. South Africa Yabantu, South Africa Yobuntu, as we recover ourselves, because we know that Kemet is here, Inzalo is here. So there's so much to do there. There is a program in place that we have put. I'm not going to read all of this. Maketha, is just to show you quickly, you can read it at your own time. This is all the work that has been submitted by Ukoko Umota. We can use this model. This model recognizes our social beings, the world view, because we don't live alone in South Africa, we live in the world. We need an economy that is led from the feminist place. We also need an economy and a community that is ecological, which means that we do not harm Mother Earth ever again. There's a lot there that we can talk about. And then we've also touched on land and food. I'm not going to go into details, but I just want to quickly show you then the overall model that we are in terms of summary. And this is still work in progress. It's a siyaphahla. But basically, then we are adopting this village model as we are going to the provinces to say we need to have these dialogues, these visitations into our homes and families, talking about all of this food and land. How do we then go back to share these resources? How do you do this work of reparation? How do you build economies that are based on empowering abantu besifazane in South Africa? Empowering wonke umuntu, because part of the violences that we're seeing is the high levels of poverty, high levels of unemployment, whereas we've got resources in ways that everyone can eat in the country. No one can ever go hungry again if we are actually going back to who we are in terms of sharing, doing away with greed. So the economic component of this model works on that. The administration, I've already said, art and creation. So this is just a summary, and it's all based on this village, eco-village model. I know other people are saying, but you have Nisbisele Mandulo. No, it only means that you take the village to Sentin, you take the village to the urban areas, you take the village everywhere we are. It is a model, and it is possible. Many of us are living in that system already. And that is what we'll be doing, Boko. There's a lot that we are still writing. There's a writing team that is in place. Kokusara, you are part of the writing team in London. If I'm leaving anything out, feel free to add. This is just a zero draft. Boko siyaphahla. We will share it once it is finished. But it was important to mention that it has culminated into this. I feel like I've spoken a lot. So I'm a bit skeptical. All the dreams and visions. Your dream about Amakamba I3 was very, very important, Gogo. Because iphupho leliana elikhuluma about the process of reparation. Kufanele kuthiwa sibuyela emsamo. We've been talking about umsamo. Umsamo was Chaba, our parliament, our communities, and our homes.
Thank you.
For sharing that dream. I saw it, but I was not in a position to respond because of other things. So it just come to me now as we are talking about this. We are writing all of that down. We are working with the power of vision, the power of dream, Asizenzeli, as in Londo. And I would really like to say thank you to everyone. The spirit is very, very strong. The flesh is weak. But some of us will start eating maybe tomorrow or maybe this evening. But thank you ever so much to all the guys in the spirit and the gurus and the angels who have come into this process. Maketla, I don't know if there are any comments to the draft that we have, but we'll keep sharing it in the spaces. And once we have it done, we will announce the dates that are starting the journey to the provinces. Part of what is going to be in this framework is also going to be partnerships with Islanda Mafama Department, Islanda Mafama Chapter institutions, Tamba Naboba and Gelapakma provinces, how to engage families and community structures and so on. So it's going to be really beautiful, amazing work. We are travelers, we will be traveling all over the provinces. Asina imali kodwa sihamba ngomoya. Umoya has led us here, Maketla Madala. It will lead us into all the other provinces as well. As long as we are willing to share the resources that we have. Ndawe Thokozani.
Thokoza Gogo, insizwa kaSolomoni, Shabangu lapha kuyo le mikhakha yakho village yomine, economy, isocial, ecology, kanye ne-world view. Yeah, kune-social ecology, economy, kanye ne-world view. Zikhona ama-textbook wakhona abhalwe kabanzi ngabantu abayiphila le mpilo abafunda ngayo abangama healers abangama-academics abama-activists asebeyiphilile empilo noma abahamba kuyo yibo ababhala lezo zincwadi lezo. So if you look into the element social, ikhona into social, i-title ukuthi Beyond You and Me, and all the sub-units under social has been pegged a chapter which has been authored by different people from across the world, including Obabu, Nomamo Ompofu, Some, Uparis Malido, Some nabo dabalile izekelo yabo ikona kulezo zincwadi. It's a very rich collection, and the goal is that need to localize those data from global evaluation network. The call is that we to localize and come out with our own contemporarily relevant literature or writings to be on what they are already doing and implement according to the context. That's why Paulo Freire is used in the analysis as an example in terms of understanding this transformation, how it should happen.
Ndawo Kehla, thank you so much for adding that. It's also very important, Guti, part of the conversations have really
Ziri koko ngabangi mahala they are downloadable ama-down now starting manje kodwa la volumes ngawo when started ngashare makho so
Siyabonga Ntonto enkulu, siyabonga Nkosi Elidala. The power of ritual as well, as the power that facilitates social transformation is very, very important as we return to Ubuntu. You know, siphahle ngenyanga ye-African New Year, kantwaso, njengoba usho Ndlondlo ukuthi sonke siyathwasa. Abanye masikhuluma ngentwaso bacanga ukuthi mhlambe sithi umuntu fanele uba inyanga, siyathwasa as isizwe, siyathwasa as the world, because we are all entering a new era. That is why and it's an era that is really grounded on spirituality and an era that is grounded on knowing and elements of truth and so on. In various healing spaces of the world, not just for Izangoma, is very, very important. We are talking about various galactic spaces, energies that are sitting in various healing systems. La esintwini ekulapheni kwendabuko, the power of ritual is the power to transform. The power of art is very, very, very powerful. Holistic well-being, connectedness, and with all ecological beings in systems. Siyabonga Ndlondlo, siyathokoza gogo mnyama. I don't know, Makehla, if there's anything that you would like to say. So that is what we have, and this is how we wrap up 30 days. I was saying to my partner, I don't know what's in Zodlane today, but it's not really over. For me, I think I will just return probably to 1 meal a day because the Spirit says so. But I'm grateful that we've traveled this journey to remember what it is like to hunger for Spirit in ways that are loving. We can ask one of us to ush us out. I see Mkhuluke Reng, I don't know if you want to speak, your mic is open.
Yes, I just wanted to say, Gogo Ralewucha, thank you very much. It's not easy to compile a report, let's all over. We know as students, it's a research, we know how difficult it is. Thank you very much to the team. And I'm happy that it's a work on progress. So a number of things will come in. I remember we're talking about why are we not having a proper name for our country? We're talking about the constitution. So I was happy legally because one thing that I have picked up from our government, we have many policies. We don't implement, we don't evaluate, we don't monitor. when we come in and push, because we are at local level, and that is where things are happening. Ne? So this is a big thing. We are going to wake them up. Actually, I think everybody is sugile. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thokozani Ndauwe Shewe Nda Makehla Madala, you are so right. So let us continue to write. We are hoping that we'll finish this mid-October so that we can start soon, Makehla Madala. But please be on the lookout. Everyone joining us on Facebook, everyone joining us on YouTube. It will be shared in our spaces. This is brought live by Equalo Healers Collective of South Africa in collaboration with the Lord's Love Rebels Feminist Collectives. This is where we're sharing this work. If you'd like to join us, feel free to contact us, Makehla Madala. We will make sure that you are part of us. The space is open, the platforms are for everyone. Like we are saying, we are security ibalaledlozi. We do not discriminate. Every South African is welcome in our spaces. It's also your space, Makehla Madala. Rialeboga haholo, Bokoko, wherever we are sitting, everywhere in the bridges of South Africa, in the Parliament of South Africa, in the various political parties of South Africa, in the various faith-based institutions of South Africa, Bafundisi, Amagedla, Abatandazi, Reiki healers, all the imams, all the shamans, Makehla Madala, you are welcome in the space. We respect everybody. We love everyone, Makehla Madala, because umoya uti South Africa belongs to all of us. All people of all races, we are finding each other. We know that we are not the colors of our skins. We know people of all genders, that we are not our genitals, Makehla Madala. We are spirit beings that are living in a human experience. Let us continue to do that as we travel to all the provinces. We will communicate here on media platforms, social media, we'll communicate via WhatsApp, sizoxhumana, even physically. Bokoko nabomkhulu, makube kuhle, sithokoze, Ndauwe, Shewe, Ndaba, Makhosi.
Amako.
Amako.
Of course.
Thank you.